Welcome, everybody. We're back with another episode of Beer with Brandon. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Bond. Now, obviously, we're at a new location, and I wanted to wait until the first of the year. But when you have this good of news, you don't wait. So, we're at our new location, our new sponsor for the Beer with Brandon show, Time Flies, in the beautiful downtown Paris, Texas. And today, I have a special guest, Mr. Mark Fendley. I appreciate you coming on the show. So Mark is with Red River Home Inspections, and he's going to tell us all about inspections. But first, the most important thing about Beer with Brandon is having a beer. You want to go get one?
Let's get a beer.
Let's go. Oh man, that is great.
Pretty good stuff, pecan pie. I don't know how you go wrong with that.
I have, you'll shoot your eye out. So tell us, when someone puts a home under contract, one of the first phone calls you make is to a home inspector like yourself.
Yes, sir.
So when you show up to a property, where do you start? What do you look for? What are some things, like walk us through the process when you show up to a home there for an inspection?
All right. Well, as for myself, I work with my wife, Brenda Fendley, and she's also a home inspector.
Hey, love that.
And she goes inside and I go outside. And most people, the biggest concern they have about a home in our area is the foundation. So as we start the inspection from the outside, I usually take a couple of passes around the house. First of all, I'm looking around the base of the structure. We're looking for soil levels, grade levels.
Looking for soil levels.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And what are some things that indicate that something is wrong with the foundation while you are outside?
Well, we look for separations between brick veneer, if it's a brick house, and a joined material, which would be window frames, door frames, fascia, the brick freeze. And those are all good indicators of foundation movement. Not the only ones, but those are some things we look for. So we're looking around the base of the foundation as we go around. We're looking for any openings in the outside envelope, they call the building. You want all those sealed. Cracks in brick veneer, that's always a good indicator of foundation movement.
Right. And when you do find an opening, what is usually a problem, or could be a problem, if you see these cracks, especially soil level? What are some things that maybe not the general public wouldn't know to look for, but if the soil level is too high, that can also be a problem for
termites.
Termites, and you also can inspect for termites.
Yes, sir. We are also licensed to inspect for wood-destroying insects, which is basically termites.
Nobody likes those.
Nobody likes those. But yeah, the soil levels, when they get up above the lower course of the brick veneer, that is a direct access for the buffet line, I guess you could say, for the termites, as they can go in and out without being detected. But also the soil levels, we want to see the grade slope away from the house. And that is also a good way to control your foundation movement, is have even moisture around the house itself. You don't want one area to be wetter than the other.
Okay, so starting with the outside, looking for signs of cracks to see any type of settlement, looking for soil levels outside, want that grade, drainage. You move inside. Where do you start once you go inside? Now, Brenda is already working on the inside, but walk us through that process of what's going on the interior as well.
Okay. Typically when we start, when Brenda goes in the house, first thing we do is turn on the dishwasher. And then she will go from there to the heating unit and or cooling, depending upon the outside temperature, and get that going. And then she'll go through the process of checking the range, checking the vent hoods.
And that's because you're just wanting to, first of all, know if everything's working properly.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. There's not much in the house that we don't put a hand on before we leave. We're going to be checking all the windows to see if they're opening easily or not. checking all the doors, see if we got anything out of square. We're checking all the plugs to see if we've got any issues with open grounds or hot neutral reversed. And while she's doing that, usually by the time I get through with the roof inspection, I'll come in, do the attic inspection, and then we'll pull the cover off the panel box. And that's always like opening a Christmas present when you do that.
Ooh, rat's nest. I've been
nest.
with several on you where sometimes we just want to close that panel box and not look at it. Outside, out of mind, right?
Yeah, it's kind of scary sometimes. But then we'll go from there, and then we start walking through the house together. And then we will go through all the systems again, all the plumbing. We'll put water in all the fixtures. We call that flooding the system when we fill the sink. Bowl up 2 to 3 inches in the kitchen, check the disposal, check for leaks. Then we'll move on to the bathrooms and check those, all the fixtures in there. And again, we fill the fixtures, tubs, showers, if that's what we're involved with. We will put 2 to 3 inches of water in those. Check all the toilets, make sure they're working and not just flopping in debris. Some of those are kind of loose.
Sure, and a lot of people don't understand why you fill those up. What's the whole point in running the dishwasher, filling up the sinks, running the washer? What's really the primary purpose you're looking for while doing that?
Well, believe it or not, on the dishwasher, we need to run the full cycle. First of all, we're checking for leaks, but also to make sure that every important soap dispenser door opens. But as far as the sinks, a lot of times you can just run water through a sink and the water will flow through the P-trap without any leaks.
Sure.
But if you if you stop it up and put 2, 3, 4 inches of water in the sink and then flood the drain, the P-trap, a lot of times you'll get leaks in that system that you weren't visible before. So you want to know that if you're going to have a leak there.
Right, and I tell people all the time, look, we all have things that we can see.
Right.
But the most important thing I feel on getting a home inspection is hiring a professional like yourself to search for things, to identify things that we can't see, because that's not our profession. So we've been underneath houses together.
We have.
We've been in attics together.
We have.
Actually on top of roofs together. Won't do that again. So tell us, when you're going underneath the house, you're looking for foundations as well, if it's not a slab, in the attic, some of the I guess major points you're looking for, I know that we've been on together.
Yes.
Electrical boxes are a common thing. They don't have covers.
Yes, sir.
Or wiring that may be incorrectly done.
Yes, so we have run into a lot of open splices in the attic, and it doesn't mean it doesn't have wire nuts on it, but it just means they brought 2 pieces of Romex together and just twisted wire nuts on them. By the current standards, those should be inside a box with a cover on them. It's considered a safety issue. A lot of times in attics, we'll see voids in insulation where somebody has came in and added a bunch of can lights, and they just sweep the insulation away, so you've got uninsulated areas. We have been in houses where they have done some remodeling, some of these flip houses perhaps, and we may have whole areas of the house with no insulation at all.
Ooh, seen it.
So you just want to always, if you're not going to go inside the attic yourself as a home buyer, you probably need to hire a home inspector. We're also looking at framing, which can also give you an indication of foundation movement. If you have your rafters pulling away from the ridge at the top, those need to be corrected. We find a lot of broken and cracked rafters in houses. A lot of times when we have a re-roof on a house, if you've ever seen how they stack half a bundle of shingles or half a square on top of a roof, those old rafters don't hold up to that, and we find a lot of cracked rafters.
Absolutely, and really, the whole point is you're not trying to kill a deal. You're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but you're really just trying to identify things that if you or myself were buying a home, we would want to know about.
Right. Yeah, we work under the standards of TREC, which you also do.
Absolutely.
And we have a standards of practice which we follow, and we try to provide as thorough of an inspection as we can. We don't overlook anything and say that's not a big deal. We want you to know it's there, and you determine if it's a big deal or not.
Sure.
Now, we will let you know if it's a major safety item or not.
Absolutely.
But it's the only way I know how to inspect is to point out everything that we find that is incorrect.
Absolutely, and also a little bit of your background helps with that too in the insurance. You know, when it comes to roofs and you see a lot of things, and so that experience plays a big part in it.
Right. It's been a long time ago, but I actually have an associate's degree in construction technology from Paris Junior College.
Whoa! Shout out to PJC.
Don't even know when that was, but it's back around 80s. But I went from there and worked in the mobile home industry for several years, so I have a background in mobile home construction. And then I went from there to B&W, which has nothing to do with building houses, obviously. But I did grow up in the construction industry. All of my family is builders, and I did. And I guess in 1995, I started working as a kind of a storm trooper, I guess you would say, but working insurance claims.
Yeah.
And then in 2005, I went full time into that and worked in that industry for many years as a property adjuster. So there's not a lot in the home industry that I haven't seen or been a part of or worked on or built. Just been around it my whole life pretty much.
Sure, true professional. Well, awesome. So to kind of sum up, a major part in the home buying process, once you go under contract, you have what we call an option period. And during that period, it's time that you do your due diligence. You find out everything you can about the house, and a big part of that is calling the home inspector. So Mark, if they want to get a hold of you, how would they reach you?
Well, it's a 903-517-4751.
Awesome, and that is Red River Home Inspections, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
In the Red River Valley. Well, excellent. So that's about all the time we have today. I appreciate you coming on, talking about home inspections. If you need a home inspection, call Mark. He is awesome. I can vouch for that. Worked with him on many different homes, and always enjoy it. So to sum things up, I appreciate everybody watching. Again, Beer with Brandon on the 007 of every month. I cannot believe it is already December. Well, time sure has flown. Anyways, that actually reminds me of a joke, if you have time for one.
I have a joke, yeah.
So you know the old saying, time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, sir.
But if you're a frog, time is fun when you're having flies.
Having flies. Yeah, I'll get that in a minute. Yeah.
Anyways, we appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for next time. We'll be a new year, new location. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Y'all have a good evening. Cheers, sir.
Oh, thanks. Cheers.
All right.